Hey, how you doing? Brian Cain, your mental performance coach here, and super excited to answer a question that came in from one of our NPM certified coaches. So I'm going to read the question and then I'll deliver the answer. Question is, as I'm working my way through the Mental Performance Mastery certification course, and I'm excited to become an NPM certified coach and use the tools and strategies outlined in the course, I've been listening to your Coaching Matters podcast sponsored by Fundraising University. And one of the questions I have is that when you offer a free 30-minute training session, what topics do you cover? I'm wanting to offer 30-minute coaching sessions to teams that I want to partner with. What would you cover in those 30-minute sessions? Great question. So a couple things come to play here. One is if you're offering a free session, people are generally going to come with a pretty open mind and say, well, what do you got for me that's going to help me, right? So what you want to be sure you do as a coach is tune into WIIFM, what's in it for me? So asking them some questions before you do your session. Questions like, what's the number one challenge that you feel like is holding you back from where you want to be right now that if you could solve, you would be excited that you'd have that strategy? Another question might be, what are some of the big goals that you have right now that you'd like to try to accomplish this year? And as you ask those questions of your clients, they're going to give you a direction with which to go. Other questions you might have, let's say you wanted to do a 30-minute presentation on mindset and on routines and habits, is you might ask them, what are some of the routines that you keep in your life that you feel like make you the productive athlete or coach that you are? And then as they unpack those routines, you can then help build on those. But you can also come in and say, hey, I'm doing a free 30-minute session with you. This is what mental performance is. Because as a coach, a lot of people don't know what mental performance is. They think mental performance is listening to a speaker on YouTube. That's their mental performance training. Now you're doing that right now. Good. But there has to be a system. So here's the system. For example, I might go into that 30-minute session and say, as a mental performance is the missing link in athletic performance. Mental performance is a skill set that you have mentally, just like you'd have a skill set physically. The 10 skills that make mental performance mastery: elite mindset, motivation and commitment, focus and awareness, self-control and discipline, keeping the process over the outcome, using meditation and mental imagery, creating routines and habits of excellence, being able to be elite with your time management and organization, leadership in the right culture. You outline for them the 10 pillars, and then you say, today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into an elite mindset. And an elite mindset is the understanding that you can be, have, and do anything you want with enough time and the right training. And then I'd show them the FedEx logo. And if you see the FedEx logo here, do you see the arrow inside of the FedEx logo? A lot of people have never seen the arrow and they go, oh my God, there it is between the E and the X, as I pointed out to you. And the thing is, once you see the arrow, you can never take your eyes off of it. So I use that as a way to get them to experience, right? Because people aren't always going to believe what you say, but they believe what they experience. So as I show them that arrow, now they see it for the first time, they go, wow, maybe there are things inside of me I've never seen before. Maybe you can trade mental performance. I just thought it was the way I was, fixed mindset, but you can train it. And then I give them some things to do to train, such as I'd use the app Habit Share and ask them to track 3 things on a daily basis. Track making your bed. If it's good enough for Admiral William McRaven and the Navy SEALs to do every day, it's good enough for us too. Because making your bed allows us to act different than how we feel, to start your day with a win, and to demonstrate that we pay attention to detail. Second thing I'd ask them to do so they would hear my voice every day is listen to my Mental Performance Daily podcast, which I'll link below this. And in my Mental Performance Daily podcast, you get to join me for 2 to 3 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. Saturday, I'm going to share a story with you, and on Sunday, I take you through a meditation. And then the third thing I would ask them to do is a concentration grid. And if you go to briancain.com/cgrid, also linked to the notes below, you'll see one of my favorite training exercises to develop focus and awareness, where you cross off the number 00 all the way up to 99. You keep track of your time, you can compete with yourself, and you can actually track your progress and development with focus and awareness. So other things I would do, go to the board, write down, here's what we can control, can't control, draw a line down the center. It's one of the first things I do when I work with athletes individually, is get them to understand the glaring difference between what you can and what you can't control. And I'll say most of the things that you want are on the side of what you cannot control: wins, batting average, throwing for touchdowns, playing time, winning a UFC fight, whatever it is. Then I'll say this profound statement: in order to get the things that you want, that you can't control, but you can influence. You have to go all in on what you can control. In order to get the things that you want that you can't control, you have to go all in on the things you can control. And once they see that, I'll ask the question and say, how much of the time are you focused on the things you can't control versus the things you can? If they're being honest with themselves, it's usually anywhere from 60 to 80% of my time is focused on things I cannot control, outcomes, what other people say, what other people think, winning, losing, getting drafted, getting promoted, being a starter, playing time. You don't make those decisions. Other people make those decisions. You can influence those decisions based off of what's on the list of what you can control, which is how hard you prepare, how well you prepare, how hard you work, right? Your what I call APE, your attitude, your accountability, your process, your present moment focus, your effort, your energy, and your execution. So those are some things where I would start, but ultimately I'd ask the audience and try to get as much information from the group I was going to be doing that 30-minute session to on where do you want to grow and develop. And if they don't give you a direction, then you have a 30-minute presentation that overviews what you believe in your experience is the most valuable aspect of mental performance. And for me, I typically go with the growth mindset, and I go with creating routines and consistency on a day-to-day basis with your behaviors, and I for sure go into controlling the things that you can control. Let's get after it. Thanks for joining me here. Dominate the day.